I'm Grindle, welcome to this video. When the first Kingsman came out, I feel that it brought a breath of fresh air into a genre that has become rather quite stale. You see, what I enjoy most about action spy films is that they're funny, they have cool gadgets, and perhaps most importantly, they're actually fun to watch. However, unfortunately, over the last decade or so, spy films have become rather quite serious, to the degree that even the once fantastically campy spy flagship franchise James Bond has gone the dark and serious route of Jason Bourne. Now, I'm not bagging on Jason Bourne, it's actually a fantastic franchise and I enjoyed it immensely, but not every single film needs to be Jason Bourne. We have Jason Bourne, James Bond doesn't need to be Jason Bourne, and every single other spy film ever also doesn't need to be Jason Bourne. And so, when the first Kingsman came out, I was absolutely ecstatic that it was nothing like Jason Bourne, and it was nothing like what James Bond had become. Instead, it was entirely its own thing, and what that thing was absolutely excellent. It was definitely not campy, but it was also far from serious. It had comedy scenes that were a complete riot, and yet it also managed to have scenes that were completely solemn. And it had some of the best action scenes I've seen in any film to date that were somehow simultaneously full of gore, but also rather pretty in their own way. And so, suffice to say, when I saw that they were doing a second Kingsman, Kingsman 2 The Golden Circle, I was definitely ready to see it. Which brings us to this here video now, the initial reaction for Kingsman 2 The Golden Circle. And straight off the bat, I can say that the film definitely doesn't disappoint. It builds on the original perfectly, develops the characters and story in a way that feels entirely natural, and is overall an excellent addition to the original movie. So really, if you enjoyed the first film, that's probably all you have to hear. It's an excellent sequel, and it's definitely worth seeing. But for those of you who want a little bit more than that, let's get into a little bit more of the details. I won't be going into spoiler territory quite yet, so don't worry about that. Kingsman The Golden Circle, much like its predecessor, has great action, with scenes that had me on the edge of my seat, great humour that had the entire cinema laughing, and more amazing one-shot fight scenes which, while almost certainly having some trickery to them, are breathtaking nonetheless. In the visual department, I should probably warn that there is some gore in the film that is pretty extreme, and probably even more so than the first film, and if you've seen the first film, that's saying something, and even more so than some of the horror movies I've watched. Moving past the mere gruesome visuals though, it also has some truly excellent cinematography, and one of the best bad guy layers that I've seen in a long time. It would definitely rank up there with even the silliest of James Bond ones. In the realm of pacing, it's a bit of a slow burn to begin with, but the payoff is well worth the wait. Now, it's about time that I'm going to move into spoilers, but before I do, I'll do the ending sum up for those of you who don't want to stick around through the spoilers, and say that it's an excellent film with visuals that cry out for the big screen, and jokes that cry out for an audience, so this is definitely one worth seeing in the cinema. But with that said, spoilers, we're getting into spoiler territory, you have been warned. Comedy-wise and even plot-wise, Kingsman The Golden Circle has quite a few subtle and not so subtle jabs at their own genre, politics, and society in general. These are all excellently done and really quite interesting because I think all spy movies ever have really reflected the times in which they were made. There is, in truth, only one thing I really want to discuss behind this spoiler wall, because it's a spy movie, and it's a spy movie that's done really quite well, and I think spy movies are far more enjoyable the less of the plot you know about it going into the movie. So I'm not going to be talking about the plot step by step. There's really only one thing I'm mentioning, and that's Elton John. Oh my god, I can't believe how big a role Elton John played in this movie. It was so damn funny, it really made quite a few of the scenes for me, and I think he was really one of the biggest highlights of the film. Him in that really ridiculous costume, kicking a villain in the face, was just so damn funny. So big thumbs up to Elton John. That's all I really wanted to say behind this spoiler wall, and as I said, it's definitely worth seeing this movie. And so with all of that said and done, as always, thanks for watching, and until next time, I have been and still am Grindle. Oh yeah, and was anyone else getting some serious Cowboy Bebop flashbacks when Harry was hallucinating the butterflies? I bet he was wondering if the butterflies were real and everything else was a dream.